Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, former Husker women's basketball star Jaz Shelley was named Australia NBL 1 South MVP. Shelley led her team to an unbeaten season through 24 games by averaging just over 20 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals a game. She ranked 4th in the league in three-pointers made per game as well, at just over 3, and added over 7 rebounds a game as well. Shelley's former Husker teammate Izzy Bourne earned second-team All-NBL 1 South accolades as she averaged almost 23 points a game and 9 rebounds. More information is available on Huskers.com. In other Husker news, the Nebraska soccer team routed Southern Indiana last night by a score of 6-0. It's the largest opening season win for the Big Reds since 1996. 5 different Huskers scored as Kama Carpenter found the net twice. Nebraska will be back in action Sunday at home against Missouri State for a 1 p.m. kick. And finally, another busy day in Major League Baseball. One game already final as the Pirates beat the Cubs 3-2. Some other scores of note. Currently, the Reds lead the Brewers 1-0. They're on the top of the second there. And headed to the bottom of the first, the Phillies lead the Nationals 2-0. Just about to start in Toronto, where the Blue Jays host the Rangers, and the Mets will host the Mariners. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Creighton's got it. Center dump. Kendra, wait, no. Nebraska bumps it again. Harper for the match. Off the ticket out. Call the grandkids. They did it. 15-10. Set 5. Nebraska keeps beating Creighton. 23-0 all time. That was a volleyball match.
Gets the snap. Back to throw, steps, throws, intercepted, picked off Malcolm Hartzog at the Nebraska 43-yard line. It's his 4th career INT.
Horn has the sign. He comes set, and the 3-2 pitch. Popped up, playable, shallow left. Carey makes the call, backing up, and he makes the catch on his 118th pitch. Ty Horn has 8 shutout here in the championship.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Happy Friday, everybody. This is what we like to call our Friday party show. And boy, there's a lot that happened today. It was like what we like to call a Friday news dump day in the biz.
We need Friday party hats. We need to wear something to signify a Friday party show. But it's a party of news. We had a lot of things happening today.
Did you get a call from anybody trying to sign you up to headline a comedy tour from your joke last night?
Yeah, it was good, though. I got a lot of great feedback. I got a lot of, we had the scoring system, and I got a lot of 8s. Camden, who I think was our producer today and did the sports ticker, I think he was a little jealous yesterday of the great reception that I had, that he gave me a 7.5. That was probably the lowest score. I think I had 1.5 in there, but... So Camden's score was low, but we were 8s, 9s. I think there was even a 10 in there.
I thought it was good. I don't judge. I don't score, but I thought it was
There was 2
funny
jokes.
Myself. Yeah, I thought it was funny. So speaking of news and a news day, if you're watching on our YouTube stream, shout out to KETV in the house. They're working on a feature on Kyle. Matt Satilli is here, and I'm expecting an Emmy Award-winning feature on you that will air in the pregame show leading up to Cincinnati.
Hopefully it doesn't hurt their ratings too much when my ugly mug is on the screen, but I appreciate them. We had a nice interview, nice conversation up on the 6th floor here at Memorial Stadium, just outside the home radio booth. I don't know if you know this, Jess, but our the Greg Sharp radio booth is getting a nice little makeover, paint job. There's some other things that are happening, so it's going to look somewhat, just a little bit more new, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to give a Cribs tour on right before the first home game.
Yes, we won't have a long ways to walk in the booth, but yeah, we could do that.
Just, hey, capture it all in the GoPro that you're going to be wearing on your head.
That's right. There's a lot of things that are happening.
Again, I appreciate KETV being here. We'll look forward to that feature coming up on you. It's crazy. What, less than 2 weeks now?
Counting down the days. Every single day I hear somebody who says the amount of days until kickoff. So we got, 13 days until we kick this thing off on August 28th. And, every single day, we're getting closer to that game week, that 7-day span. It's different because it's a Thursday game. But once you hit that 7-day window, we're officially in game week.
I'm sure they'll have the second countdown coming up on the chat. Those guys track all of that. I don't even know where to start. Got a big show coming up for you, by the way. We're going to hear, they had another media availability today with Husker football. So going to hear from Dana Holgorsen coming up this hour. Donovan Raiola, the offensive line. It's been a huge topic all throughout fall camp. We'll hear from him. Got Ali Batenhorst going to be on the show tonight, and we're going to hear from Kevin Gallic. That's coming up in hour number 2. But mentioned lots and lots of news to hit on here in the first segment. And I don't know, where do you want to start? The black unis, the blackout?
I'm excited. That's a USC, so it's going to be something different for Nebraska fans to have inside Memorial Stadium. Just think of what that environment's going to be like when USC is in town and it's a blackout, and hopefully it's a night game for that one. There's a lot of dates that are pending, dependent on television, but you hope that's a night kickoff. And the way we break down the schedule and we hope things are going to go for Nebraska football, that game you hope's going to have college football playoff implications between those two. And it's just something different for the fans. And I think the way Coach Rule thinks about it and the staff thinks about it, it's recruiting. Recruiting is everything, and that's probably part of where we're going to head to as well in this segment with some good news today. But you have to be a little bit more outside the box. There's certain programs like Oregon, they have a million different uniform combinations. There's schools like Nebraska that really love their tradition, like the Alabamas, the Nebraskas. But you see more and more going outside the box because the younger generation likes cool, different things, and that's what this is. I think it's something that the fan base will embrace, and I know the players will for sure.
I know they're so excited about it. So not only are the players wearing the black uniforms, but calling for a blackout, so it should be rocking. The way they announced it, that video was
epic.
Yeah.
So that was a donor's farm, I believe that was. Dylan, I believe, was telling the story earlier today. He wanted to rip out some corn, and they said, no, this is a donor's farm. Don't touch anything. But it was really cool. So they drove out there. I forget where Dylan said the photo shoot was, but he said they were getting eaten alive by bugs out there. So it was real. It was real. They were really in a cornfield out there.
It was sweet. It was so well done. So the social media team continues to up the ante, I feel like, every single year. So, again, that's coming up in the game against USC, the blackout, the black alternate uniforms. All right, in just about an hour before we went on the air, 2 hours, huge commitment for the Huskers in the 2027 class. Nebraska kid and Tory Pitman, and they're excited about this one. Big get for the Huskers.
Yeah, in-state, too. Sometimes you see some of those players from the Omaha area and within Nebraska go somewhere else, but Coach Rule, he wants the best players no matter what state they're from. We've seen a lot of players from Florida that have come here and have made an impact with Nebraska, but here you get somebody who, in Tory Pitman, who a lot of places have him as a five-star safety, and that's adding him to Trey Taylor as part of that 2027 class, who's one of the top quarterback commits of that class. So that says a lot about what Coach Rule is doing and the momentum of this program. In the end, wins and losses tend to dictate your momentum, but you see what not just Coach Rule, but what Addison Williams, that's a big get for him. I'm sure he was a huge part of that recruitment. And that you look at the other schools that were in on Tory Pitman, it is blue blood after blue blood.
Tennessee, Penn State, Notre Dame, Oregon, Michigan, USC, LSU, Oklahoma, Miami, just to name a few. But 24/7 has him as the number one safety in the nation. Do you want to read? DB sent us a little breakdown. You want to
that
to the folks?
He had the full breakdown here of Tory Pitman. Explosive and rangy. He said he thinks he projects as a safety, even though his defensive stats aren't gaudy for the moment. 23:06, that's 200 meters for him. So he has all the measurables here, Damon Benning. He has a 23:24 long jump, backs up his the thought of him being an explosive athlete. He still has 2 years to go, so he's far from a finished product. If you're looking for stats, they aren't jaw-dropping at the moment, but he still has time to go. Again, he's 27 class, and you get him here on campus, and you get him in Corey Campbell's strength program with all the things that he's already put on tape here in high school. I think it's great for a lot of reasons. Number one, safety in the class, but he is a Nebraska kid from the Omaha area, so you keep him here, and he is going to be a Husker.
KETV Matt told us that he's a ball hawk, playmaker. They cover a lot of high school football, so he's really, really fast. So there's another speedster to add to the secondary for Coach Butler. But, yeah, big get, and I know that was something that Coach Rule he said at his press conference that they want to lock down this state and get the top recruits in this state. And even though it might evolve just because you don't get as many recruits just with the limited roster size, the Nebraska talent is still going to be a huge, especially the top talent, going to be a huge priority for this staff.
Yeah, I saw the reaction on Twitter from some of the position coaches and the GIFs that were put out there. Addison Williams had tweeted out a nice celebration GIF of the announcement that Tory Pitman had committed to Nebraska. So everybody's fired up. I can only imagine what the offices are like right now at Hawks.
All right, the other other news item wanted to get to here in the first segment. We know number one, and it's another defensive back, Sierra Wright.
Yes.
Another ball hawk, by the way.
So I was walked into practice today, and I wanted to find the answer. Okay, that is the number one question, is who is number one? And that was one of the first things I saw. And right away, because it was a defensive back, I had to Buford, who's 3, Singleton, who's 8. Okay, so it's obviously not them. It has to be somebody who, and it wasn't Andrew Marshall, so I saw him wear number 10. So I did, by process of elimination, it was indeed Sierra Wright. And you think of him, I mean, he's going to be, you presume, at least in the cornerback room, he's going to be the leader, bringing Andrew Marshall along into this program. Somebody who's played 3 years at USC and is had a big impact last year. Led Nebraska with passes broken up, couple of interceptions, had a pick 6 against his former team last year. They expect him to have a big year.
Sierra is what I would maybe compare him a little bit to a Jacory on the defense. He's a big energy guy. He is a playmaker. I mean, we saw it. He made plays last year. And this is the guy that got here late and settled in and ended up making a huge impact. But I mean, I think it translates from what you see from game day. He makes plays in practice. Let's just say that going back to spring, I saw him make several plays. I know he's made throughout fall camp. So I think that translates to when there's probably multiple different reasons why guys vote for the certain guys that they do. But I think you just cannot deny the fact that Sierra Wright makes an impact on the defensive side of the ball by his playmaking ability.
And I would say that's coming in, that's the strength of this defense. It's all your returning starters, for the most part, are coming from that secondary. With Marshall, the thought would be Marshall and Wright are your 2 starting corners, with Singleton, Buford, and then you have Hartzog as the nickel. That's your strongest group, at least for now, going into the season. You have to feel really good about that starting line, plus guys like Caleb Benning, Mario Buford, Donovan Jones, Amari Sanders. I think you'll see a lot of Jeremiah Charles. You've seen a lot of Kamir Prescott. Rex Guthrie, I think, is going to play a big role in this secondary. So we talk about Sierra, but I think the totality of the safety room and the cornerback room, that's going to be the strongest unit on the defense.
How are those charts shaping up now?
All the numbers I have to go through and do a lot of editing, and I have to rememorize some things, because it's not just the numbers that you see that are getting changed with people moving to single digits. It's now the backfill of, okay, guys now take 15, or when Dane Key moved from 18 to 6, there's now a new number 18. So there's a lot of things that you have to figure out and make sure that you have everybody's number correct for that first game.
Hey, good thing is you got 13 days now.
13? Soon to be 12, and then we're going to continue to count down. So I think I'll have everything good to go when we kick this thing off in Cincinnati. But, and I don't think they're done. I think with the single digits, they're done. But in terms of number shifting and changing, there's going to be a little bit more of that, I think, over the next few days.
Because you can't have guys on the field at the same time. So once they, I think, maybe get the special teams worked out, then you have to work around that too.
Yeah, and I think what they do as well is they'll have jerseys where guys will wear one number on the offensive, defensive side of the ball, and then they'll have to put another jersey on just for special teams.
Ramir Johnson had to do that.
Yeah,
when he's
it's a
playing
pain.
on special teams,
And they're massive because you have to put them on in a pinch, and you have to put them on over shoulder pads. So they're big, bulky jerseys that they have to wear, and they're always super clean on special teams.
All right, good stuff. We got to get to a break, so we have plenty of time to hear from the OC. Dana Holgorsen met with the media today. Lots of good stuff from him today, so we're going to dive into that coming up next year on Sports Nightly. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln, or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it at Woodhouse. We carry a wide selection of trusted brands across more than 20 locations, offering everything from efficient daily drivers to bold new EVs and family-ready SUVs. At Woodhouse, we put your experience first, offering expert guidance and a trusted team that's guaranteed to help you find the right vehicle. Visit a location near you or start shopping online at woodhouse.com. More ways to drive, more reasons to trust. This is Woodhouse.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. think I was gonna do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Camden Cohn over there pushing the buttons for us tonight. All right, we had another media availability today for Husker football. Dana Holgorsen taking to the podium today, and so we're going to hear some of the highlights from his press conference. Always entertaining. But we're going to start with one of the first questions he was asked, but what are they looking to accomplish in the scrimmage tomorrow?
The defense defense beat the offense. It's more about, just getting plays on video and teaching situations and stuff like that. We've been through an awful lot of situations, which has been excellent. It's been fantastic. I got to see if we can sustain a drive now. We really haven't sustained drives. It's been all situational stuff. So what we're really trying to get accomplished tomorrow is getting, the three groups out there to see if we can, get first downs on third down and critical downs and be able to sustain drives. Can we handle a 8-play drive right now? I don't know, because we haven't done it. So that's going to be the main focus for tomorrow.
I think it adds to the fact that there's so many situations that can happen in a football game that they truly do rep any possible thing that could happen in a game. And that's why when Holgorsen says we haven't been able to do much in terms of long sustaining drives, because it's a lot of situation. It's 7-on-7, it's 9-on-7, it's 2-minute offense, 4-minute offense, 3rd and 6 from the 46. Coach Rule, he reps everything and then some. So tomorrow's scrimmage, we had talked about a lot. It's going to be, it's like the final exam. Coach Rule said the last scrimmage was the midterm. This is the final exam. So I would assume that you're going to see roles be solidified tomorrow.
I think if there is a situation that could potentially happen in a football game, Coach Rule has thought of it and they have prepped it.
They have.
They go through anything and everything you can think of. They know what they're going to, both offense and defense, what the game plan is.
Well, you see programs sometimes when you're in a 2-minute situation and somebody doesn't get out of bounds and they don't know the clock or the context around certain areas. Like you see guys yelling and screaming at people because they throw the ball between the hash marks in a 2-minute drill when you're supposed to be getting out of bounds. And while you're not in the stadium on game day and you don't have the feeling of a true 2-minute drill, like these coaches will let you have it if you're not really dialed in onto the context of these situations that they're practicing.
All right, up next, we're going to hear from Dana Holgorsen and his take on how he would characterize Dylan's camp.
I think good. He's he took one day off just because I usually do that after 2 weeks, give the quarterback a break, off, from you have a recovery day and then I give him another day. It's just for the arm. Nothing was wrong. It's just, but other than that, he's been out there playing every play, playing every rep, playing every period. It's different when he's out there, just from, the communication, the confidence, just making routine plays and getting the other ones to come along with them. So his leadership is outstanding. The play is fantastic. He's making throws that I've never seen before, to be honest with you. So he's in a good spot and he's ready for game day.
Yeah, I think all things are positive coming out of camp. Dylan's made some really, really good throws when I've been out there. The physical gifts, he's just built on that. There was a day of practice, I think, last week, and I talked to Dylan about this when he was running around, and we sort of crossed paths. I asked him, you didn't have any reps that one day, but it was the day that Dana talked about. It was the day off of him just having an earpiece, and he was walking through reps with Jalen and TJ. It's his day to have it was a mental rep day. So there's a little bit of everything in camp that they're having these guys rep. The brain, the body, all of it.
And good thing that they can do that with him and allow the competition to ensue behind him. So we know, no doubt, who number one is. But what about QB number 2? Here is Coach Holgorsen's answer to that.
Yeah, it's a competition. Okay, so what I said, with Jalen, we know what we got in Jalen. Okay, he's a competitive kid that's played in games, that's older, that knows the system, that operates. But TJ's a very talented young kid, and so those guys they're going about equal reps right now, and we will keep evaluating that one as well.
I'm going to interrupt you because you know who's not surprised that TJ Lateef is in
Jessica
that number
Coody.
2 competition?
She knew in the spring.
I was impressed with him in the spring. From the first practice that I watched to the end, that was somebody who made leaps and bounds and figured that he would only settle in more, and he has the feet that is just so hard for teams to defend when he can take off and pull it and go.
Nowadays, with the RPO game, where it's a game that quarterbacks have to move, they have to fluctuate inside and outside of the pocket. TJ Lateef is an athlete. It's incredibly enticing. The way that he plays the game is pretty good vision for a true freshman quarterback. Now, it's much like the conversation around Archie Wilson, where that's break glass in case of emergency. You don't want to see the number 2 quarterback, but you want to see somebody who is capable. And TJ is a lot more capable than he was in the spring to where he is here now in the fall. Different player.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Janiran Bonner was one of the guys that got the single digits that maybe surprised some people, but just more of a quiet guy, but has done so many different things, has contributed in so many different ways. A lot of it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but has just done everything and then some that was asked of him. And so Coach Holgorsen was asked what he's seen from Janiran Bonner that helped him earn that single digit.
Yeah, hard work, man. I mean, he physical, hard work, does everything you ask him to do. Swiss Army knife, so to speak. I mean, he can flex out and run any routes that we want him to do. We can, move him in and use him in the run game as well. So he's going to do a lot. He's a great special teams player. He's a great leader. Doesn't say a word, just gets out there and plays his tail off with extreme physicality just every single play. So he's going to play a lot. You're going to see number 4 out there thumping people and running routes and making plays as well.
I'm interested from a pass-catching standpoint. So he had 11 catches last year, played primarily out of the slot. We know his story, former fullback, turned wide receiver. But you're going to see him on the field. He almost accounts as an extra tight end, right? So if you have one tight end on the field and you have Bonner who's in the slot and motions in, flex tighter to the offensive line, he has the frame as a fullback where essentially he's a tight end wide receiver combo. He just does so many things that he's somebody that you need him on the field on a 3rd and 5, and he could play out of the slot and make on a jet sweep option, or a 3rd and 1. You need an extra blocker in there, and he plays in line on the offensive line. A versatile piece, and he's earned that single-digit number by what he's put on tape every single day. Jess, you know this well, and that's why I had asked DB when we talked to him yesterday, what does Bonner do that has made him a single-digit guy? And the answer is everything.
Yeah, everything. He actually was a wide receiver turned fullback, turned back to wide receiver. I mean, he just, again, has done anything and everything. He's great in pass protection. He leads the way for the running backs. He clears ways for them to score. So he's just puts his body on the line to help his team, whatever is needed. Literally, he is the definition of a guy that whatever you need me to do, I will do it. Whether I catch any pass or I catch 10 passes, he will do it. And another thing about him is just his skill set, as you just kind of ran through all of those. We've seen Dana Holgorsen and his offenses love to utilize, because it's all about how you can take advantage in the matchups and all of that. The guys that can do a lot of different things. He loves the jack of all trades kinds of guys. I think he's been able to really find ways to utilize them. And Janiran is one of those guys that can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, does a lot of things really, really well, and that's why he's a leader of this team. And Dana said it. They're going to lean on him heavily in multiple packages offensively.
All right, so would you say, so if O-line's been number 1, would you say running back's been the number 2 conversation, top storyline throughout this fall camp?
I'd say D-line 2 is in there, I think, with some of the uncertainty. But in terms of unknown, I would put running back up there. But I've been ultra impressed. I don't know about you, about the running backs.
Yeah, no, I have too. I feel like that's been one of the bigger storylines and things that people are talking about. So we know Emmett Johnson's the guy, number 1, that's been talked about. Coach Rule has said that. But the question is behind him. And there's a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent that they're going to be relying on, and they've certainly impressed here throughout fall camp. So Coach Holgorsen was asked what he needs to see out of those young running backs for him to feel comfortable calling them in game-like situations.
It's always ball security. It's assignment and alignment. Just being in the right spots. That's critical. It sounds funny, but it's step number one. And then just, being able to hang on to the ball, and finish runs. Being physical, pass protection is a huge part of that. They're going to be able to step up in there and thump. I thought Emmett's been outstanding from a pass protection point of view, and those young guys need to continue to get better at it. That's just a technique thing and a toughness thing, and those guys are doing a good job. They just need to keep getting better with it.
And that's the hardest part for a really young running back, and that's where Emmett can help lead the way, pass protection. Mekhi Nelson, Isaiah Mosey, if they're going to be the number 2 and 3 backs, they're going to have to be able to protect in third down situations along with catch the ball out of the backfield, which we know Nelson and especially Mosey, who's a wide receiver coming in, that'll be a big asset for him. Good news today, though, Dana also did mention this. Quentin Ives, he's back repping some drills, so he's out of that yellow jersey that usually some of the injured players have. So it's been a bit, and it's going to take a while for Quentin Ives, I would assume, to get back in the conversation to be a number 2, even a number 3 with the camp that Nelson and Mosey has had. But you feel good for Quentin Ives because he was that number 2 running back coming in.
All right, from storyline number 2 to storyline number 1, how about the offensive line?
Yeah, continuity is what kind of stands out. I mean, we've probably got our top 8 right now, and those guys are, how they play together, how they're coming together and playing together as one, I think is huge. We got a good, solid, older group. It's great to have Teddy back. It's great to have, Turner back, Henry, missed a lot of the spring and stuff like that. Those guys are older, and they're big, they're physical, they're experienced, but the unit coming together as one is what I've seen in camp. And I think we're playing at a high level up front right now.
I'm eager to see the percentages when the season is done, and even after the first game at Cincinnati, what the percentage split between run and pass is. Dana came in with this reputation for the longest time of air raid offense, which he has said is, people like to say that, but that's not truly how I am. I'm not going to just throw the ball 100 times around the lot. I would think this team's going to rely heavily on the run game this year with Emmett and some of the other running backs we mentioned. But because the offensive line is a strength to set up Dylan in those third and short situations, which really makes it advantageous with the mesh concept routes that Dana likes to run, the short passing game. If you could set this team ahead of the chains, I think then you're talking about a team, if they can get ahead of the chains consistently, then you're talking about a team that can win 9-10 games. And a lot of that comes with how successful is that run game this year.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like with this offensive line, too, not only are they versatile and they've got guys that can play other positions, but I feel like sometimes an O-line is good at one thing or another. But I feel like with this group, they're pretty good if they need to go fast and move the ball along. I also think they're going to be comfortable if they need to slow things down and eat some clock. Not every O-line is good at both. But yeah. I feel like this group is poised and set up to be able to handle both those situations.
They can win games in different ways. The Big Ten, 3 yards and a cloud. They can win the game between the tackles, and they brought in the skill position players along with a true leader at quarterback and somebody who you're expecting to take a big jump. This is a Nebraska team that can beat you offensively in a multitude of ways, and I think a lot of people are excited with the fact that now you have a full season of Dana Holgorsen, who has had a chance to work with Dylan here over the last couple months leading into a year, and then a full season of him calling the plays.
Interesting question here on the chat from Bone-Led Corn-Fed. Are we going to have a Big Ten first team or All-American this year? I think Big Ten first team is absolutely. There's a couple guys. All-American is a little tough. It's tough, but it's so much kind of is contingent on the team success as well, right?
I think Dane Key, I think Emmett Johnson, Ja'Cory Barney are all in that mix. I think Henry Lutovsky could be in that mix. Somebody, Rocco Spindler, Justin Evans. There's a lot of guys that you could say. I think there is potential to have at least one person from the offense on the first team, multiple in the multiple teams that you have in the Big Ten postseason awards.
All right, let's get to another break. Got a couple segments left here of hour number one. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field.
You're not at your house. You're at a lavish seaside estate. You're not walking the dog. You're hunting for clues in an Agatha Christie mystery. See it differently with BritBox. Stream an endlessly entertaining collection of British TV, including new original series, Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
Bit awkward, really. I think I might just have solved a murder.
And Outrageous, a scandalous true story.
Seems there's a political extremist in every family these days.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Woodhouse, we're with you every step of the way. With more than 20 locations and brands, you'll find options that fit your lifestyle. Whether you're looking for your first car, your next SUV, or something built to tow and haul. Enjoy straightforward pricing, helpful guidance, and a dealer experience built around you. Visit one of our convenient locations today or explore your options online at woodhouse.com. Serving our customers for 50 years, this is Woodhouse.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Like Husker Athletics, your retirement deserves a game plan with a solid foundation. Stonebridge Wealth Systems, local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. So we talked about this last night that we were anxiously awaiting the punishments for Michigan. We were speculating on what it could be and got hit with a heavy dose of that financial. They hit the wallet, like you had said, where it hurts.
And that's exactly what you had to do. So what, over $20 million plus?
They said it could be close to $30 million.
And the next two postseason, whatever money they would get from the next two postseasons also is lost as well. I think the show causes don't really mean a whole lot Sharon Moore has a 2-year show cause, but that self-imposed, the Michigan-imposed 2-game ban, so that's now a 3-game ban, but the third game is going to be the first game of next season. So he would still miss the game before Nebraska and Nebraska. So Sharon Moore will not be here coaching, and he can't coach at all during the week either. That's part of the ban of those 2 weeks. Connor Stallions, who was the mastermind of all this, and I don't think the investigators were able to dig as deep as they wanted to because there was a lot of evidence that was destroyed. There were a lot of text messages that were gone. I think there was thousands of dollars of tickets because he'd buy tickets to these games, future opponents. He would look at the signs and then try to differentiate what sign was for what. So they spent thousands and thousands of dollars on football tickets just going to games, and then it all came to a head when he was found on the Central Michigan sideline wearing a disguise. It's something that comes out of a movie, but he got an 8-year show cause, so essentially he can't be around any athletic program for the next 8 years. And then Jim Harbaugh, which doesn't mean anything. He saw this coming around the corner. That's why he bolted to the NFL. But he has a 10-year show cause, which will so restricting him from all athletic-related events during the show cause period, which will begin on August 7th, 2028. So crazy. A lot going on there. A lot of info.
Not surprising. Michigan is appealing this ruling. But we were talking about how in this day and age, you can't take money away from the student athletes, and that's not what they're doing. So they can still pay, but they're gonna also be doling out a lot of money in fines, so they're going to have a lot of money flowing out. And with the as you mentioned, not being able to receive the income and the revenue from postseason, that's a huge chunk that comes into programs when they make the postseason that they're not going to get the benefit of. So they're going to have even twice as much money going out by the time you're paying your players with the rev share and then all these hefty fines. They're going to have to be hitting up some donors to get in their pocketbooks to be able to stay afloat. That's
going to hurt those Olympic sports for sure. Some of the sports that are lower down on the totem pole. We mentioned that the Harbaugh show cause. So his begins on August 7, 2028, because he has a 4-year show cause from a previous case. So he has to serve that before the 10-year one comes into effect. But that doesn't necessarily matter because he's in the NFL. But the financial penalties, so they have, along with nearly $30 million in fines, they're getting, I think, so $50,000 fine plus 10% of the budget for the football program also is thrown in there, a fine equivalent to the anticipated loss of all anticipated loss of all postseason competition for the next 2 seasons. Also a fine equivalent to the cost of 10% of the scholarships awarded to the Michigan football program in this academic year, 25% reduction in football official visits. That's for this season. And then a 14-week probation for recruiting communications in the football program during that probation period of those 14 weeks. So they take a big hit in the recruiting front as well, not just in the budget side of it. A lot.
Just going through all, they hit them pretty hard. I mean, outside of, like you said, no postseason or we're vacating your national championship.
Yeah, no vacating of wins, which some people thought maybe that could be in the cards, but it's not. They're hitting them where it hurts, but they'll be fine in the end, right? Michigan football will be fine. I think it's some of the other sports that will hurt with some of that extra money that's not coming in now.
Which sucks for them. It sucks that they're going to be the ones that, I mean, football's a moneymaker, I get it, but it stinks for those Michigan athletes that are going to probably the reverse of reap the benefits of this punishment. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get to a break. Back with our final segment here of hour number 1 coming up after this.
At Woodhouse Cadillac, we're redefining your drive with premium performance, advanced technology, and world-class comfort. Explore our current offers happening now. Lease the 2025 Cadillac Vistic Luxury for $599 a month for 24 months and 10,000 miles per year. Browse our inventory in-store or shop online today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must currently own a 2010 or newer competitive Conquest brand vehicle. Courtesy transportation vehicle with 1,817 miles. Offer expires 8/31/2025. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Tanya Blaine in Norfolk, Grant Wilbeck in Omaha, or Bud Morrell in Okalala.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Welcome back. Final segment here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. We've got a big weekend this weekend.
Massive weekend. Alumni match. You got football, scrimmaging, soccer. Again, they'll be at home on Sunday. On Sunday. So continue the athletic calendar, and then you're going to have volleyball starting up for real with regular season matches, and we continue the countdown towards football. So all the fall sports, the students will get set to move in sooner rather than later here. So there's going to be more activity, more foot traffic around this part of Memorial Stadium soon.
Yeah, so I hope you were on the email list that we're going to get to go try some of the new stadium food next week.
I can't wait. I think we'll have somebody on Sports Nightly. I think it's the 20th.
Yeah, so that should be next week. Yeah. So on that note, too, being that it's here next week, a week from tonight is the first volleyball match of the season. So next week we'll start our first week of, I guess, our fall lineup. So Danny Busboom Kelly will be here for her coaches shows most Tuesday nights. And so we're going to have her live here in the studio on Tuesday from 6 to 7. Because of the weird week with the Thursday night kickoff, Matt Rule will be here on Wednesday night. And then that next week, we will not have a full hour of a football show. So, and then once we get through that first week, we'll get back to the regular scheduling programming where we have it on the same night every week. But it will be Wednesdays once again. And then Troy Dannon's scheduled to be here on the 26th as well. So we'll have a 2 for that night with Coach Danny and Troy Dannon. So the dig, we'll have Slice. So I know people ask about the big dog, I feel like once a night. So Jeremiah Searles will start back with the Sideline Slice. And if you missed it, he's going to be a part of our coverage this year and be joining Matt Coatney on Big Red Reaction.
I can't wait to listen to Big Red Reaction after that first game, hopefully after a Nebraska win. I've listened to some on-demand versions of Big Red Reaction, but they don't hit the same when it's live. So see Josh and Russ back here fielding all the calls. Make sure I don't even have to tell people to call in. It doesn't matter the time, the day. They're going to call in.
You should see, if you ever get a chance to come up here during it, this phone line is all lit up.
It's on fire.
Yeah, so people are on hold. So, yeah, it's going to be lit, as they say, with Searles and Coatney on Big Red Reaction. And then, of course, Banderas will be back and Potter, so we'll have a mixture. But Jeremiah Searles is making his debut on Big Red Reaction. He'll be fantastic. He'll be so good, and everybody loves him, so he'll be good. And then, but we will have him in studio next week to record our first season, our first episode of a new season of the Sideline Slice.
And the picks, right? We're going to have picks coming up soon.
Is next week picks?
I think week 0, Camden, maybe you can help me out here. I think week 0 is next weekend, right? So
yeah, so next week, so we'll start. It'll just be a more condensed version before we get into the full lineup. So we'll have a smaller pick segment next week as well. I also wanted to we're going to let you get out of here a little early today because we've got some guests lined up. But next week, I pose this to you. I think you kind of like the idea, but would love if people have any input because you've been diving into Cincinnati. Maybe take each night of the week next week that we can when we have the time and dive into certain areas of Cincinnati. So diving into their position groups, like we did last night when we were talking about Nebraska's O-line or Nebraska's defensive line versus Cincinnati's O-line. So maybe diving into some of those specific matchups And so if you have any dying questions about Cincinnati, Kyle's been diving into that pretty hardcore here the last couple of weeks.
Yes, so we could do that. I have if you're watching on YouTube, I know this doesn't do a whole lot for the radio audience, but I got my spotting charts now. I've been doing my research on them and reading. They had their last scrimmage today, actually, their last fall scrimmage. So I have to. This is my best guess as to what their 2-deep is going to be. And the further reading I do and podcast listening, there's a lot of maneuvering that I have to do for Cincinnati. But they're a good football team. I think there's some expectation there. And they have a coach in Scott Satterfield who also is in year 3, but perhaps a different situation, truly coaching for his job right now. He left for Louisville. He left, I believe his last year was a winning season. I think he won 7 games the last year at Louisville, and then he's just sort of left for Cincinnati, and people were scratching their heads. But they have brand new wide receiving core, dual threat, and we'll talk more about this next week. Dual threat quarterback who is very capable, who can take off. He has 9 rushing scores last year. I think their big question mark is going to be their skill position spots in their offensive line, and so they definitely have some questions they need to have answered.
Hey, we got to figure out, you showing that made me think we could tease this, maybe seeing about giving away your spotter charts each week. You need the first one. You got to hold on to the first one.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So we got to get that framed. You got to hold on to those. But moving forward, we got to figure out, we got to go back to figuring out what we could do with that.
Yeah, there could be some sort of giveaway that could be in the making. I think even if I print out an extra copy, because maybe if I need something when we play a Big Ten opponent, I kind of want to have those charts in case we play them again the next year. I want to have some of the information I have on players, but I'd be more than happy to do some sort of giveaway and let people see the work that goes into. We just don't show up and talk on the air, which a lot of people think we do, Jess.
Crypto King wants to know who's going to be your spotter. Ben McLaughlin, the spotter of the century, is making his return and will be helping Kyle, not just spotting, but he's going to be holding his hand through all the sponsor reads.
We had our meeting today to take people behind the curtain, which we are incredibly grateful for. All the people that spend their money on the Husker radio broadcast, and because of the popularity of not just Husker football, but the Husker product on the radio. Let's just say my head was spinning in the meeting today.
You like had your brows furrowed down so far I could barely even see your eyebrows.
Carly, who does such a great job, member of our Playfly team, was running through all the feature elements and sponsored elements, and I just said, "Is this it? Is this it?" She said, "No, we still got a few more." So I have a whole list here, and I'm ready to go. But Ben is going to be my, the floaties you wore as a kid in the pool. He's going to be that.
He's going to be your safety vest. John in Omaha had an interesting text here. Love this drill down that you're going through. Can you touch a little bit on the extra point and field goal situations, also the kickoff situation? Thank you, Go Big Red, John in Omaha. Yeah, I think that's one of the positions when we talk about scrimmage tomorrow. We can dive into that next week, but you've got to think that kicker situation is going to be solidified at some time.
Yeah,
right?
Well, Coach Eckler said it's going to be probably at the start of this week. It's still a 3-man race. I'm sure there's a favorite of who that might be, but it's still up in the air right now.
Yeah, we'll dive into that next week. I think we'll know more, too, after tomorrow, so we'll be able to really dive into that. So, yeah. Anxious to hear how scrimmage number 2 goes.
So much still to talk about. Talking season is not done quite yet, but it is getting there.
All right, we got a whole nother hour of Sports Nightly coming up on this Friday night party show. Keep it here.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Shop Woodhouse, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram during the Make This the Summer event going on now. Lease the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $289 per month. Visit us in Blair or Bellevue today. Woodhouse is your trusted Jeep dealer. 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. For well-qualified returning lease customers, $19.99 down plus first payment and $2.99 doc fee due at signing. Stock number C250228. Offer expires 8/31/25. See dealer for details.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, former Husker women's basketball star Jazz Shelley was named Australia NBL 1 South MVP. Shelley led her team to an unbeaten season through 24 games by averaging just over 20 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals a game. She ranked 4th in the league in 3-pointers made per game as well, at just over 3, and added over 7 rebounds a game. Shelley's former Husker teammate Izzy Bourne earned second-team All-NBL 1 South accolades, as she averaged almost 23 points a game and 9 rebounds. More information is available on Huskers.com. In other Husker news, the Nebraska soccer team routed Southern Indiana last night by a score of 6-0. It's the largest season-opening win for the Big Reds since 1996. 5 different Huskers scored as Kama Carpenter found the net twice. Nebraska will be back in action Sunday at home against Missouri State for a 1 p.m. kick. And finally, it's another busy day in Major League Baseball. One game already final as the Pirates beat the Cubs 3-2. Some other scores of note include the Phillies and Nationals tied at 2. The Marlins lead 1-0 over the Red Sox in the bottom of the 4th, and the Braves and Guardians are scoreless in the top of the 4th. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Pianto set first offering. That ball's driven up the middle. Coming around third is Dylan Carey. The throw is offline. The Huskers win it. The Huskers win it. Nebraska will march on.
Wing to the near side. Snap back. Has some time. Steps, throws down the field. The pass is intercepted. Picked off by Sierra Wright to the 30, 25, 20. Sierra down the near sideline. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Sierra Wright with a pick 6 for Nebraska. And the Huskers have taken the lead on the road.
Rindahl, a couple of ball fakes, bounces into Prince at half court. And Prince is going to make a run on a falter. Steps back for 3 to tie the game. You betcha! Biggest shot of that freshman's young career. Timeout. We're tied at 75. Britt Prince is 19. She steps back and sticks a 3-pointer, her 5th of the night.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly, our final hour of the week. And we got a big hour coming up for you. You're going to hear from the senior long snapper, Kevin Gallic, here in just a few minutes. And Allie Batenhorst, who will be playing for the alumni squad coming up tomorrow night in the alumni match. Got a chance to catch up with her. She's in California, Kyle, training for beach. Might be an Olympian here in a year or two. So cool story there. And it's also one of those stories, too, this day and age in the transfer portal, that it doesn't always end smoothly, but she is so loved, not just by Husker Nation, by her teammates, the coaches. It was one of those, hey, it's best for everybody, we're okay, and she's got those great relationships, and so it's pretty nice in this day and age that there's a story like that one. Sometimes it doesn't always end amicably, you know?
Sometimes it does not end well, no matter the sport. So it's good to see a lot of the alums in town for the match that's going to take place tomorrow night. I know I'm going to try to get out there. You'll be out there. It's a sellout, and it should be ultra competitive. I know that. I know the current Huskers want to win. The alums want to set the standard for this current team. So it's great to see a lot of great Huskers in town for this really cool event tomorrow night.
All right, so that's what's coming up here in the next hour or so, but we did want to hit a couple more highlights from today's media availability from the press conferences for Husker football, and let's talk some O-line. We haven't talked enough O-line here on the show, Kyle.
No, there's never enough offensive line.
Jeremiah would say we don't talk it enough. So Donovan Raiola met with the media today. You know, he doesn't always love doing press conferences, but always get good stuff from him, and he's got to feel pretty good about this group that he's assembled here going into the season, and that's where we start. He was asked if this is the best he's felt about the depth with his O-line group in the preseason since he's been here at Nebraska.
I mean, as an offensive line coach, you're always, preparing for the worst, right? So,
But I think going into a training camp, the whole overall unit has been the best since we've been here. And, I was talking to Coach Cooley, my assistant, the other day, and, we haven't seen too many units that we've been around that's been this deep from, the top group to the last guy on the roster. So, we're excited to be able to, go to work with them every day and just keep focusing on improving and, just playing to our standard.
That's right. The depth of the offensive line, I haven't been here, obviously, until this year, but you talk to everybody who's been around the program, and they say it's the deepest that it's been in quite some time. You're talking maybe 10 bodies that you could put out there, and you feel good for a guy like, Teddy Prohaska, who might, in the end, it depends on how things shake out, he could be your starting right tackle. He's had so many injuries throughout the years. Turner Corcoran is starting to see more and more reps, and Gunnar Katula, is he going to start at left, right tackle? Sometimes when you have confidence in a guy like Gunnar that he could play left or right tackle, in a way, those are good problems to have because you have a lot of versatile pieces in this room that injuries happen, and they're going to happen, but you have a lot of bodies that could probably make up for it.
Perfect lead-in to the next clip we're going to play for you. Of course, that tackle spot has been one of the heated battles. We've talked a lot about it, as Kyle just mentioned. Gunnar Gatula, Teddy Prohaska, Elijah Pritchett. You got some guys there that they're trying to still figure out and solidify who's going to be at each tackle moving forward, at least to start the season. So Coach Raiola was asked about the battle for the tackle spots.
It's still wide open. Guys are battling. We got a lot of guys with really good experience. Gunnar shows up, Turner's back, Teddy's back, you got Tyler Kanak over there, right? Obviously Pritchett is here. So, they're all battling, they're all working hard. And, at the end of the day, we're going to play the guy that's going to execute and play with our technique and play with the effort that's required for us to be a championship level team.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of decisions that have to be made. I don't think left tackle is as solidified as maybe some fans think it is with Elijah Pritchett. Could he potentially swing to the other side? Could it be Gunnar that is the starting left tackle? Who knows? There are those decisions to be made. But there's not many offensive lines in the country that have 4 or so guys that have played left tackle at some point in their career. I mean, that's really unique for Coach Raiola's team.
Yeah. And, again, in the past have felt really good about maybe some of the depth inside, but just the fact that we're having these conversations, I can tell you since I've been here, we've not had these types of conversations where we are talking about this amount of guys at the tackle spot. And so it's definitely a nice luxury. I'm not even going to call it a problem. It's a nice luxury to have. So Dylan Raiola is very, very tight with this O-line group, and they have a lot of communications going on. And in fact, Rocco told me a couple weeks ago that Dylan's his best friend on the team. So Coach Raiola was asked about Dylan and how he's been working with the O-line on the different kinds of protections.
It's awesome. He's a very cerebral kid. Obviously growing up with a dad as a center, that was what, he was taught growing up. And then just the communication between him and the offensive lineman and the comfort level that they have on and off the field has really grown, just for him being in year 2. And so it's really a constant work in progress, right? But in the protection world, we want to get it right, and we want to make sure that, we take care of our running backs as well and allow them to get out on routes too. So we try to get that thing right. So
there's a lot of things that are going to be different, you would think, for Dylan here in year 2. The game's going to slow down a little bit more. We've talked about how he slimmed down a little bit. He could maybe take off, have a different aspect to his game. But the mental side of what he can do and what he could provide for everybody on this offense, I think that's the difference maker for Dylan. And having seen the number of starts he did as a true freshman, he's going to be able to point out protections for everybody on that offensive line and help all the newcomers and some of the pieces in the skill position spots. So there are so many aspects to what makes Dylan Raiola special. Him knowing the vantage point of a right tackle, right guard, his wide receivers, his running back. He knows every aspect of this offense.
He's a film junkie too, and so I know he's studied a lot of film and just overall, and I think even just the communication part of it is, and we've heard Coach Rule talk about that, but just he's more comfortable in having those conversations. And, that's an older O-line group. That's a true freshman that he's trying to, have conversations with now with a year under his belt. A little bit easier to have those kinds of conversations. All right, so Coach Raiola was asked about Turner Corcoran, who has made his way back, coming back off of injury. He's been full go, really, the last week or so, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they were able to ease him back into it. He wore a different color jersey for the start of practices, but he's been full go. And I think will absolutely be a guy that they can rely on at some point. So Coach Raiola was asked about Turner.
For sure. He attacked it every day. You face adversity in life. You can do one or two things. You can fight, right? Or you can act like I'm not going to say the word, right? But, you just keep, and he attacked it every day. For him to be back this soon is a credit to him and his mentality and how he approaches everything, right? So really excited. He still looks like Turner Corcoran, right? Like how he's looked in the past. So just getting him back in shape and getting the rhythm back and all that stuff, so.
Yeah, previous to the injury that he had, he was pretty consistent in being on the field. At one point, he had 30 consecutive starts. So somebody that has played that much football, he's made 35 starts in his career. So he's going to factor in. It stinks for him because he might not factor in if everybody's healthy in the first few games of the season because he hasn't had that natural ramp up in the amount of practices in fall camp and live reps that you would want for an offensive lineman. But don't get it twisted with the amount of experience that he has, whether it's tackle, whether it's guard, whether it's being an emergency center. There's a lot of different things that Turner can do and will do at some point this season.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that can play basically every spot on the O-line. Not every guy can. I know they try to train for that, but not every guy can. Turner can. And in fact, Searles has said many times that he thinks that Turner's spot at the next level, he said this before, that maybe be more interior. So we'll see. And again, a nice luxury to have. He's not the only guy with a lot of experience and a lot of starts, as Kyle mentioned. A number of those guys that have played lots of snaps. So Coach Raiola was asked about how much it helps to have those older guys in the room this year.
Absolutely. One thing, with this unit now, the standard's it's been a long time coming. Thinking back to when we first got here, I always thought of Nebraska offensive lines were those dominant units that, take over games, and in the fourth quarter, the defense is so beat up that they can't stop you, right? So I give credit to a lot of guys along the way that's upheld that standard every day in that room. From the first day we got here, I think of guys like Trent Hickson, Ethan Piper, Joey Mancino. You got Turner Corcoran, you got Teddy Prohaska, Henry Lutovsky, Justin Evans, right? You got all these guys that have been here since we first got here, and now the room is healthy, right? You see guys like Rocco in meetings turning around to Gibby and like, hey, and Gibby's on the film, right? You see Justin taking Jake and Sam under his wing, and they all work together, right? It's just a special unit. It's a special room to be a part of because it's truly player-led, right? And our jobs as coaches is just to make sure the standard is the standard, and we just keep that thing going.
Yeah, I mean, it's led by these players because they have so much experience. To have somebody come in like Rocco Spindler, who's played in a national title game on one of the best offensive lines in the country, Justin Evans, who makes that move from guard to center. And one of my first interviews I did here was Aaron Taylor, who won the Outland Trophy. He made that same sacrifice for the team. He's set to have a big year. And Lutovsky, I think, is somebody who could be an all Big Ten performer when it's all said and done. This is one of the strengths of the team for sure when it hasn't been in the past.
I also like to, I'm not even going to say it, knock on wood, that they've stayed pretty healthy.
Stay healthy.
Just keep that rolling. All right, good stuff. We're going to let you get out of here early tonight.
Yeah, why not? It's Friday,
We've
right?
got a couple good guests that are going to fill in for you here the rest of the show.
Okay.
Kevin Gallic and Allie Batenhorst coming up here to round out the show. Camden and I might talk a little soccer, too. They had a big night last night, so and back in action on Sunday as well. So still plenty to come, but we're going to let Kyle get out of here. He'll be back with us here on Monday night. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
So cold.
Does your furnace have you in distress? Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. Their technicians don't earn commission. This equals fair treatment to our customers. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. To celebrate our 75th anniversary, get a new AC or furnace for $75 a month. Call SOS at 402-391-2336.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Make the most of August with a new ride from Woodhouse Chevy. Whether it's one last road trip, giving the kids back to school, or upgrading your daily drive, we'll help you find the perfect vehicle for wherever life takes you. From dependable trucks to spacious SUVs, you'll find incredible selections and special financing options available now. Shop online or visit us at one of our 2 locations in Omaha or Missouri Valley. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Natalie Kerr in Lincoln, Michael Reeves in Omaha, or Julie Null in Plattsmouth.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Grit, precision, results. That's Husker football and our approach to retirement. Stonebridge Wealth Systems, local advisors, relentless focus, the retirement compass. Visit StoneBridgeIWM.com. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. We let Kyle get out of here a little early on this Friday evening. Got a couple of great guests lined up for you here to fill out the rest of this Friday night show. And we begin with Kevin Gallic, the senior long snapper that the Huskers brought in back in January after last season. And he's a veteran guy. He played 3 seasons at the FCS New Hampshire, but so a veteran guy, very experienced. And when they knew they needed some help there in that group, he's a guy that they went after. So he's from Warren, New Jersey, and is absolutely loving being a Husker. I had a chance to chat with him after practice earlier this week, and believe it or not, he told me it was his first ever interview that he's ever done, but he knocked it out of the park, and wanted to bring you that conversation here tonight. All right, well, let's first of all just, how's camp treating you?
It's been awesome. Temperature's great. We've had wonderful weather. A little bit of rain here and there, which has also been nice too. Yesterday was fun to kind of experience the weather a little bit. Yeah, it's been a blast. It's been a blessing.
So you got here back in January, been through, spring ball, all of that. Take us just back through your journey when you got the call and the offer to come here to Nebraska, why you wanted to be a part of this football program.
So yeah, that was back a while bit ago. I loved my time at New Hampshire, and by the end of my junior year, I was like, I think this is ready to take a chance on myself and see if I can go to the next level. Coach Foley called me, and we had a wonderful conversations, and I flew out here, and it was insane. I walked in, I was like, the city of Lincoln is beautiful. Got in here kind of late at night, got to see everything lit up. The city, it was beautiful. The stadium is fantastic. It's huge. I walked in there and I was just like, what the heck? And completely just new. And it was awesome. The facility here is beautiful. Everything is so detailed. Coming back in from like practice, right? You can go through the weight room, you can go stretch, go right into the recovery area. Everything's so close by. The food, training table is phenomenal. And then the coaching staff here is great. Coach Rule he's a great leader, someone who I very much believe in. And then with the addition of Coach Eck too, I fully believe that we will have a great team, especially special teams. We are committed to excellence there.
Oh, that's great. You played a lot of football, obviously. Coming in here, what kind of approach did you want to bring to the specialists, and being that you are a leader, you've played a lot of football, and just what did you hope to add in that element just of your experience and your leadership?
First and foremost, I just want to, be a calm kind of force in the group. Yeah, I've played a lot of football, but I know that my role is, when it comes to punting, I set my punters up for success, and then same thing with field goals. I got to do my part, get the ball to my holder in a good spot so we can get it down for our kickers. So, yeah, I just want to kind of bring that calmness, that reliability into our group.
That just the whole chemistry and just the working with each other with the holder, kicker, all of that. What's that process like, and how important is that for you guys just to have that comfortability with each other come kickoff?
It's really important, and I think that we're blessed to have a really good group. All of our guys, we're all friends. We all hang out, and we all love to come and get extra work in. That connection is really important because, we get points on that unit, so we really work hard. We really trust each other. I believe that, I'm going to do the best I possibly can to help Cook or whoever's holding, and Cook is going to do his best to help whoever is kicking, and we are going to play for each other and have success that way.
How's Archie Wilson? We're hearing a lot about him throughout camp.
Dude, he is a funny guy, and he is a blast. He is, every day he walks in, big smile, lots of energy, loves the kick. I would say you will always catch him with a football. He's just walking around. He'll just be kicking it to himself. He's always working on his craft. He's a young kid, but he is coming in here with a mindset of a veteran. Like, he really is focused and detailed, and he will take that to every game, and he's gonna be great. He's an awesome guy. I love him.
The battle for place kicking and kicking those field goals, it seems like there's a lot of depth there. How confident are you guys and whoever may be the guy that's called on in any given moment?
I mean, we have 3 very, very talented kickers, and iron sharpens iron, and we know that whoever wins the job, you'll have 2 other guys behind him to support him, as well as the rest of the group. We're very much obviously we're competing against each other, but there's a lot of support involved in there too, and whether it's one person taking the reps and another person watching, we support each other regardless.
How's Coach Eckler been, and what has he added to the special teams group?
He has brought in a ton of energy. Special teams meetings are super fun. They are very engaged, and most importantly, they're very detailed. Special teams is going to be a big emphasis. Obviously, it's been a big emphasis this camp and this year, and he brings in just that spark, and we're all bought in, and we're all ready to go run through a wall for him and go ball on special teams.
That's great. How did you get into snapping, and that became kind of your path?
Okay, so I started playing football my freshman year of high school, and I played just a bunch of kind of positions, just learning to play the game. And it was a rainy day, and we were doing practice in the gym, and I was just kind of throwing the ball around, and my defensive coordinator came up to me and said, "Son," so I was living in Texas, and he was like, "Son, you ain't never going to be a quarterback, but you should be a long snapper." And I was like, "Coach, what's a long snapper?" And he said, "Well, come out tomorrow. We'll show you some." So, yep, started doing that my freshman year, and then I just stuck with it. And my senior year, I didn't realize that could really take me somewhere, but one of my coaches at my high school was like, "Hey, you're pretty good. You should go to a couple camps, kind of see how you stack up." And I did, and I ended up doing pretty well. Picked up my PWO from New Hampshire and just stuck with it, and I love it. I love being a long snapper. I love that the detail that it takes to be perfect or attempt to be perfect at every play. Just I love it.
Who would have thought when the guy told you not to be a quarterback, it would have brought you here to Nebraska eventually?
Oh, I no clue. I was like, I would say it's cliche to say, but if you asked me like years ago, I would have been like, "Yeah, you're joking." But it's been a blessing being able to be here.
Great stuff. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Again, that was the senior long snapper, Kevin Gallic. Appreciate his time, and again, cannot believe that was his first interview. Cassidy, who helps me record the interviews, we walked off and we're like, wow. He's impressive just how thoughtful he was in his answers, and obviously a guy that's been around and knows the game, knows football, but love what he said about throwing the football around, and his coach said, "Hey, maybe you should try long snapping," and look where it brought him. And it's fun to see his interaction with Archie Wilson, the star of the show this week that everybody's talking about. All that specialist group, they've got a really neat relationship, and it's fun to see them interact. But Kevin and Archie, certainly they have some fun when they can. They're serious when they need to be, but you can tell they enjoy being around each other. All right, we're going to get to a break here, but coming up next, big time treat for you guys here tonight on Sports Nightly. Allie Batenhorst, who's going to be playing in the alumni match tomorrow night against Husker volleyball, returning back to Lincoln. She's been training, and she just moved over to the beach. You know, what we talked about that 2 or 3 weeks ago here on the show, that she's going to pursue trying to be an Olympian coming up in the Los Angeles Olympics. So she's training out in California, but flying back and going to be here and be competing with the alumni team, taking on this year's Husker squad tomorrow night as a part of the alumni match. So got a chance to catch up with her. We're going to bring you that conversation next here on Sports Nightly.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Jan from Toyota here, with live coverage of end of summer fun at Toyota's national sales event with my special guest, Eli Manning.
Thanks, Jan. Let's get into it.
Down by the lake for some fishing, we've got Eric in his Tundra. He throws his line, and he's going long!
Heck of a team effort there. That Tundra got him exactly where he needed to be.
There's excitement in the stadium parking lot with the Davis family tailgating in their new Sequoia.
All eyes are on Dad manning the grill. He grabs some buns from the cargo area of the Sequoia and flips. And look at that! What a way to close this one out.
Sure was, Eli. Until next time, go Toyota!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, or Corwin Toyota of Bellevue.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Woodhouse Ford, we're here to help you elevate your summer plans with a vehicle built for every destination. From the adventure-ready Bronco Sport to the rugged F-150, the entire Ford lineup is equipped with the latest technology and reliable safety features so you can drive with confidence. With flexible financing options and a seamless buying experience, it's easier than ever to get behind the wheel of your new vehicle from Woodhouse Ford. Shop our current offers online or visit us in store at one of our 3 locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. I'm Jessica Coody, and Husker Nation, we got a treat for you tonight. Joining us is Allie Batenhorst, all the way from California, who's going to be playing in the alumni match coming up on Saturday, but she's currently training with her new beach partner out in California, so flying in Friday to compete, being going to be back inside the Devaney Center on Saturday. How does that sound, Allie? You're going to be playing in the Devaney Center again, back in the Bob.
I'm so excited. I'm so pumped to see everyone and just be in front of Husker Nation again. It's just super exciting. I'm going to be playing with my coaches, so that's going to be different. And I can't wait to talk trash through the net.
Yes, so. We love it. We love it. How did the call go? I know Kelly Hunter is going to be the setter. How did that conversation go when they called you and, hey, do you want to be a part of this?
Yeah, I mean, she just reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to be in the alumni match? We're doing this. And I was like, wow, I feel like we haven't done that in the past. So that was really exciting to hear. And obviously, I love coming back to Nebraska, being in front of so many familiar faces, and just being able to experience Devaney once again is just really incredible. And I'm just so excited and just pumped to be back there.
So you are familiar with Kelly. You know, she's a great setter. Do you guys already have that connection? You feel like she's going to be able to set you where you want it, to be able to get some kills?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever I was at Nebraska, she would set us all the time randomly in practice. And so we have some sort of experience. It's been a little bit of time, but she's obviously very, very talented, and I think we're going to kick some butt.
I like it. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about that, but let's start with recently came out. You move over to the beach and try to compete and maybe represent the United States in the Olympics in California here in a few years. Take us through that and how that came about and why you wanted to make that transition over to the beach.
Yeah, so it kind of happened very organically. So essentially I moved to USC for my master's degree, and then I was also potentially going to pursue beach. That's something I've always been interested in, and I've always kind of I've even talked to the coaches at Nebraska about it whenever we would be in our beach seasons. I was just like, I really enjoy this sport, and it's something that I would love to do. And I was super blessed to have Sarah Hughes reach out to me. She's a world champion, and she's an Olympian, so that was just really cool and just surreal to experience. And she said that she was interested or just testing to see where I was at and if that was something I'd be interested in. So I actually was finishing with my pro season with the Supernovas, and I still had my lease at USC. So my apartment was there, and I wanted to just go live in LA for the summer and finish out my lease there. And worked out timing wise that her and I were going to train in June, test it out and see how we would work together. And when we first got on the sand, we clicked immediately, and she said she knew within the first practice that it was going to work. And just our personalities really, really fit each other, and our values and everything is kind of aligned. And who she is as a person, she's just amazing and has been so welcoming and patient with me as someone who's transitioning from indoor. So that's huge, and she's just incredible. And I'm just super pumped that I have this opportunity, and she believes in me, and just the people in her life believe in me. And I'm just really excited. Yeah, kind of went on a long tangent there, but
that's amazing. So what's the process look like now? So you guys are figuring out each other, training. Just what does the next few years look like to maybe qualify as an Olympic duo?
Yeah, so we are training for the next couple months, and we'll potentially be doing our first tournament maybe in October. It's kind of tentative right now, but that's our goal. And we will be trying to do some more tournaments in November, December. It's all very tentative right now. There's no official. We have to kind of go through a lot of system stuff and figure all that out first. But ultimately, we're training 4 times a week and lifting hard and just going at it and trying to get our groove together. And obviously, we're very new, so we're still learning each other. But we've taken a lot of strides even in just 2 months. So there's a lot of potential there, and I think we're really fired up for what's to come for the next couple of years.
What about your game feels like translates well to the beach? What is that transition like going from indoor to the beach?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's hard. It's playing on the sand is a lot different than indoor, hard court. I would say the biggest thing that Sarah was looking for was a big blocker. I would say blocking is one of my greatest strengths, and I'm obviously very tall, so that helps. And I would say whenever we would go play these beach seasons at Nebraska, it felt pretty natural, and I think my build and the way I move on the court kind of translates pretty well. And I think it ultimately just was pretty smooth, and just the way I play and just blocking wise and ball control wise, it's huge on the beach for sure.
Oh, that's great. Well, before we get back into Husker talk, how about John Cook? He couldn't stay away. He's taken over, and we talked to Lauren earlier, and she said he's got 2 new jobs now. He's a GM, co-owner of the Omaha Supernovas, where you just played. How big is that just for the professional volleyball to have somebody like John Cook that now wants to help grow that part of volleyball now?
That's amazing. I mean, whenever that was announced, I just thought that was incredible just for the sport in general. I think he's grown the sport so much just with his time at Nebraska, and he's obviously a legend there. And I think him being able to be involved with something or with a program that's so new and up and coming like the Supernovas or the league and just MLB in general, I think that's going to be huge. And I think anything that we can do to grow the sport is just amazing. And he's obviously been a huge contributor to that. So that's going to be really awesome for sure.
Allie, your story is one that you don't always hear in this day and age when you transfer, you play at USC, but you had such great relationships that your teammates love you, the coaching staff love you. They were so happy for you and rooted for you, even when you were playing for USC. When you came back here, you got a huge roar from the crowd here. How special is that, and why do you think that is that again, in this day and age, it's not always the case when you have somebody leave the program, but why do you think it went the way that it went with you and Nebraska?
Yeah, I think obviously being from Nebraska helps for sure. I think I have a lot of family there, and just the culture at Nebraska is unlike anywhere else. They say no place like Nebraska, and it truly lives up to that. The relationships that I had with my teammates and my coaches we always talked about that so much with my time there. We're so close. We're like a family. We're there for each other regardless of what's happening. And that's proven time and time again. And I think that's when we say that, it's very genuine and we mean that. And it just goes to show, especially when I left, there was so much loyalty there and people still cared. And I think just those relationships are so important, and just relationships in general and everything you do is just so important. And I think whenever I left, I felt so much overwhelming amount of support, and I was just so blessed and grateful for that. And it's truly a special place to be, honestly.
How was it that first trip back to Lincoln and hearing the crowd roar for you the way that they did?
That was unreal. Honestly, I was so emotional. It all happened. It was just, gosh, I don't even remember the game. I just remember that moment, honestly. But it was really special. And like I said, I'm just so blessed to have so many people in my corner and just supporting me regardless of where I am.
You and Harper Murray were super, super close, had a really neat relationship. What's it been like watching her grow and blossom into where she is now, and the confidence that she has and just everything that she's gone through to get to where she is right now?
Yeah, Harper, we actually talked on the phone yesterday for hours, which is funny that you say that. But she has grown tremendously since the last time. And we call each other periodically, so I continue to see little bits of growth with her. She's just grown so much as far as finding her worth outside of the sport and just finding out who she really is as a person and what she wants in her life. And she's just kind of become this more confident version of herself, especially moving into junior season. I think she's obviously going to be one of the older upperclassmen, so she's going to kind of develop into that leadership role. And I can see the way she's grown and the way she's kind of transitioned through these years. It's been pretty amazing to watch, and I'm really just happy for her.
You're going to block her, though, on Saturday, aren't you?
Yeah, whenever we're actually on the court, we're not friends.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, I know you play for Coach Cook, and then the transition happens. Like, what was your reaction to that when Coach Cook hangs it up? And it's got to be pretty special for you that you played here. You know you got your degree, and to see a fellow Husker take it over, and Danny Busboom Kelly.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the program. I think, as far as John Cook retiring, I think that's really amazing for him, and I think he's been ready to do that and just be able to be on the country in Wyoming and do his thing. A lot of stuff he loves to do outside of volleyball as well, but he's left such a big legacy and accomplished so much for the sport of volleyball and Nebraska. And I'm so blessed that I got to play for him and I had that opportunity. And I think Danny Busboom's going to do amazing. I've heard great things. I call the girls all the time, and they love her. So it's really exciting to see.
Hey, what are you expecting from Rebecca Alec in her senior year?
Yeah, Blicky, I love that girl. She's got fire and energy, and she's definitely, like, she's an upperclassman as well. So she obviously is going to be more of a leadership role this year, and I'm just super pumped to see how much she's grown, and I'm excited to see her this weekend for sure.
I'd also love to get your perspective on Lexi Rodriguez, because for the first time in 4 years, you came in with her. I remember one of the first interviews I did here. I came in at the same time you guys did, and I had the three of you when you came back from playing for Team USA. It was, one of the first interviews when you were a baby freshman. But, her role as the libero and being the 4-year starter, what's that going to be like trying to replace someone like her? And was she the best to ever do it here at Nebraska, you think, and maybe even in college volleyball?
Yeah, I mean, that girl is one of my best friends. So, of course, she's the best in the world, in my opinion. But I think they obviously got tons of talent on the team still, and it's big shoes to fill for sure. But I think this Nebraska team's got a lot of talent, and they're going to do great. And I'm excited to see how Lexi continues to grow in the USA Volleyball gym and just her pro career. And she's accomplishing so much, and just she's inspiring in so many ways. So,
hey, for Nebraska to be able to do this, an alumni match, it's sold out. I know, not surprising to anybody, right? But sold out alumni match. You've got some great players that's going to be facing this current squad. But what does that just say about, and I know we talk so much about it, but just the history and tradition. There's so many players that want to come back, be a part of this, also want to help this new team in this kind of scrimmage. It's going to be like their first actual match, like what it's going to be like on a game day. But just then the fact that Husker Nation sells it out. I mean, what does that say about this program and its history and tradition and just all of the things that are just so special about what's going to be Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska loves their volleyball, and it's amazing, and they show up time and time again. And just we've seen it with the Memorial Stadium game. They want to come watch, and just the sport has grown so much, and it's just so amazing to see. And the fact that we all get to kind of come back, and we're one big family. Anyone that comes through Husker Nation or the Nebraska volleyball program is going to be family forever. So it's true. Everyone always says, once a Husker, always a Husker. It's clearly being shown this weekend, and I'm just really pumped to be around so many cool alumni and even current players.
Hey, you guys are coming in to win this thing, though, right?
Yeah, always. Always. Of course, we always want to win.
Besides Harper, who are you looking forward to talking some trash to on Saturday?
Honestly, I say this, but I'm not a huge trash talker. But since these are my close friends, I might. But I'm really excited just to see all the girls that I played with. Especially, I'm really excited to see Macy. She just asked me to be her bridesmaid, so I'm so excited to see her. And yeah, it's just gonna be so fun. That's like I said, they're family, and I keep repeating myself. I'm a broken record, but I'm just so happy and just excited to come home, essentially.
That's amazing. So bridesmaid duties ahead
yes!
for you.
Yes, I'm so excited.
What's going to be, you know this team so well, what's going to be the key for the alumni match to make it a competitive one on Saturday night?
I think the key is definitely going to be to have to bring the team together, honestly, because we are not going to have much practice, but we are going to focus on our side of the net and just really go for it. We're going to bring lots of energy and fire, and we're going to do our best.
Allie Batenhorst, thank you so much for your time. We can't wait to see you here on Saturday night back inside. Now what is the John Cook Arena? But back here in Lincoln, we're so excited to have you. And thank you so much for your time. And congratulations on the move to Beach and the success that's coming your way there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Always love chatting with Allie Batenhorst. It's going to be so great to see her and the rest of the alumni back inside the Devaney Center and John Cook Arena coming up tomorrow night. And, of course, we'll have the call for you right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up this Friday night show coming up right after this. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Kyle Crooks, we let him get out of here a little early today, but I'm here with Camden Cohn as we wrap up the week. We wrap up the show and the week here tonight on this Friday night edition of Sports Nightly. Got a busy weekend coming up here in Lincoln. We've talked a lot about the alumni match with Husker volleyball. 6 o'clock is first serve, but we'll have the pregame show for you. Full hour-long pregame show starting at 5 o'clock with John Baylor and Lauren Cook West. Football going to have another scrimmage. Matt Rule will meet with the media, so we'll be able to hear from Coach Rule and break all that down for you coming up on Monday night's show. And then how about Husker soccer? 1-0 to start the season. Big win last night. 6-0, right? Camden 6-0 over Southern Indiana, and they are back in action for game number 2 of the season coming up on Sunday, 105 against Missouri State. Camden, we sent you out there last night, and when we signed off, it was 2-0, and then the goal scoring wasn't even close to being done by the time it was all said and done.
Yeah, it was a good thing they scored in the second half once we'd signed off, so I didn't have to do 4 more long goal chance for Kyle. But yeah, they put it on in the second half, and I mean they looked pretty good for first game.
Yeah, and we'll see how it continues to unfold, but 5 different goal scorers, and that's something that we had talked about. The last couple of seasons have been a heavy load carried by maybe one player. And Reagan Robbie had told me going into the start of the exhibition games that they hoped and felt like this year's team, we'd see a bunch of different scores. They scored 6 goals, 5 different Huskers scoring a goal. It sounds like what Reagan had predicted. Now we'll see if it continues on, but I know that they felt like that could be more of this team's MO, is having multiple Huskers find the back of the net.
Yeah, and with freshmen, you just really didn't know what you're going to expect, and especially the 2 transfers. But up and down, I guess the lineup, how they lined up, but up and down the roster there, I mean, the freshmen looked really good. The transfers looked good. I know that one of the transfers ended up getting an assist late in the game, and I was impressed with how quickly they scored in each half as well. I mean, we scored in the first minute 20, I think, of the first half, and then the second half they scored in the first 40 seconds. So they came out of the locker room aggressive.
Yeah, we started that show, and I said, we'll check in with you at the end of the first segment. Hopefully, maybe there's some action. It was right off the top. We just barely had gotten through the intro of the show, and I heard your speaker. I heard you through the speaker, the crowd reaction, and it sounded like it was a good crowd out there as well. So, again, get on out there to Hibner Stadium coming up on Sunday. Husker soccer game number 2, opening weekend for Husker soccer as they take on Missouri State. 105 start there out there at Hibner. Camden, you gave me a great nugget to ask Lauren. You actually had asked her that, why aren't you playing? And she kind of had some fun with that. But it's pretty fun to hear JV and Lauren back on the airwaves, huh?
Yeah, they have such good chemistry on the air. I mean, JB's special in his own right, and Lauren's kind of worked into, I guess, what JB does when calling games. So they work really well together, I think. So
Lauren is going to be, again, breaking down the alumni. She had a great perspective on that. I have that conversation posted if you missed it, but she had a good preview for us here earlier on this week, and excited to hear them back on the airwaves coming up tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock with the pregame show. And we'll be back with a big Monday show. We'll have lots and lots to get into, to break down and recap for you coming up in a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly on Monday right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Camden, thank you. Appreciate it. And for Kyle Crooks, Josh Eggleman, everybody that helped put this one together, appreciate it. Have a great weekend, Husker Nation. Enjoy volleyball, enjoy soccer, all the things. And we'll talk to you Monday here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was was gonna do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience. J.D. Power ranked the team at Shelter Insurance #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region 6 out of the last 7 years. For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
See Shelter Agent Derek Hostert in Lincoln, Shelley Wheeler in Grand Island, or Jeff Florum in North Platte today.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.